It's the one and only. Just get. Hey, welcome to another episode of What's Your Story? And I have a guest here today. I have a story that I think a lot of people need to hear, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Jayden Lawrence. I'm from Houston, Mississippi. Currently, I'm a student at Ole Miss. I'm majoring in biological sciences to hopefully one day become an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
So that's a little bit about me.
All
Yeah,
right.
I know you very well.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Jaden, I'm glad to have you on the show, man. And
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like, what's Jaden's story?
yeah. They think
I
it's all singing.
They think it. People really think that, and
Yeah,
I want you to talk. Well, I want to talk about first and foremost, man. You in college? Was you a sophomore now?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore in college. So let's get to it.
Let's get
You
to it.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So Jay, looking back when you was in high school, you was pursuing to be number one, valedictorian,
Yeah.
but you didn't get it. You had what finished fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that shape your mindset going into college?
Well, when I went to college, I had to understand that number one didn't mean as much in high school. My high school only had 120 people probably in my grade.
Mhm.
Well, up there, you probably got 7,000 people in just one class. So I had to realize that you have people from everywhere. And my number one doesn't mean that I would be just the number one. You have a lot of different number ones up there.
Mhm.
You have a lot of kids that don't play around. But back in high school, I wanted to do it for me, not trying to compete against nobody else, but I wanted to show that I could do it along with doing all of my other activities as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. With those auto activities, what you saying, you was involved in what 14 or
14.
so being involved in 14 organization and working a part-time job from my
Yeah.
understanding,
Yeah.
how did you manage your time?
Well, it
And
was
what
really
hold up? And what sacrifice did you have to make? Because the question is, 14 organization and working a part time job.
yeah.
And how did you manage your time? And what sacrifice you had to make for all of that?
Yeah. Wow. It was a lot. And I remember I'll just give you a story. I remember being the beta president and I was everything was coming at me, because it was
Mhm.
senior year, and my teacher, my sponsor, she had actually called me in her office and told me, said, "We need you to get back on it," because I mean it was a lot. So I don't know how I did it. I know for one thing, I would go to half one meeting, and then leave half of that meeting and go to the other meeting. So it was like I was half doing, but I wasn't. But I was like I was half there. But
Mhm.
I was involved in a lot. But it was some sacrifices. Some things I missed, like family events. I couldn't go out all the time, and or I would be so tired to go out. Like
Mhm.
football games. It just wasn't my thing. Basketball games were my thing, but I was so tired I couldn't go to that. And then on the weekend, I would work my job. So that's kind of I would do all my school during the week, and
Mhm.
then I would have on the weekends I would do that and still go to church. I would do my job. Actually, a fun fact: my first year working at Checkers, I won the
Oh,
Employee of the
checkers.
Year. Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm still
wow.
at Checkers. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. What all organization were you in?
Ooh, I may miss some. But I was in NEMYF. That was Northeast Mississippi Youth Foundation. That
Okay.
was in Tupelo. So I would go there on something Sundays. I was on the chess club. They had finally added that.
Okay.
I was on the solar car team. I was on the beta, of course, student council. I was in the anchor club. I was in archery. I was on the tennis team. I was in FFA. Yeah. So I was in a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so starting college, did you feel like pursuing number one come all over again? Came back to you like, so now I'm in college. Now, do I need to try to pursue number one again, or did your goals and definition of success change after once you started college?
Yeah, it definitely changed. Well, it didn't change once I got to college. I was actually, trying to get that number one spot. And when I couldn't get it and I saw that, hey, number four, number three is kind of where I will be at, I said, well, when I get to college, I need to change it. I need to be able to have fun, need to be able to manage a social life.
Mhm.
And I made that guarantee. I told my parents I'd be like, I promise. If I get a 95, I'm good. But in high school, if I got a 95, it was just like the end of the world. But I promise, I really wanted to change because that was draining. That was draining a lot of organizations. Then on top of those organizations, I mean, you got events coming up.
Mhm.
I was still singing, I'm still working. I mean, it was a lot. It was
Ah,
definitely a lot. I never went to prom, as a matter of fact. We used to have eighth grade prom. We used to have like high school prom. I never went to any of it. Never had a prom because I chose not to. I was so tired. So
oh wow, you did make a lot of sacrifice,
yeah.
and that's looking back over that. Do you have any regrets?
Well, not about prom.
I
I
got
don't.
you.
Yeah, prom was okay, but I think I definitely got some because I would see a lot of my friends, and they would be my friends during the day, but at nighttime, or I couldn't call on them because I
Hmm.
was I would be so tired, But I didn't have much of a much of a life outside of school. People knew that, oh, he's the smart guy.
Oh,
He's the person that can sing.
yeah,
But I wanted to be known for more than that.
got
I could speak with anybody.
you. Yeah,
And I
that's with that being said, you are known for something else. When you went your freshman year in college,
yeah,
you joined a fraternity,
I
and
did.
most people when they join a fraternity, it's not their freshman year,
Yeah.
and they junior senior year, later on in college. But
Hmm.
seeing like you, what made you want to join it? Well, first of all, what fraternity are you in, and why? What
I'm in,
made you join it?
I'm in Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
I joined my freshman year because I wanted that brotherhood. I knew immediately. My dad, he's an alpha,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah,
Legacy.
I'm a legacy, and so he really the one that changed it. And then I also in the summertime before I got to college, it was a such thing called the Most Conference.
Hmm.
It's actually available now that students can go on and they can go there, and it's like a 2 week thing. You have two different sessions. You have one session and another session. So we have like 300 students on each session. So we have students that can go to that. But I went
Hmm.
there, and while I was there, they did strolling. They would stroll all the time, and I would see it, and I said, "Oh yeah, they're my guys there." Yeah, and of course the brotherhood.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I wanted to, and this when you have the brotherhood, you don't realize how much connection you have. And just not my fraternity. Now I can talk to, different fraternities. We have Greek picnics that we have,
Hmm.
and when you're there, you have people that are doing, it's more than just dancing and strolling, and
Gotcha.
you got to know your history, of course,
Mhm.
but it's making those connections and making them last. Yeah.
So you talk about the most conference. I don't think a lot of people know what the most conference
Hmm.
is. Can you just, for our listeners out there, just tell them what the most conference is all about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The most conference, so most is MOST. And so the M means Mississippi, and O outreach, S scholastic, and T is talent.
Mm-hmm.
And what those students are, those are rising seniors that are able to come, and they get like a handful of things. They can stay on campus almost like a student. They stay in one of the dorms. The parents are waving goodbye. The students are so happy, and we show them what we have to offer at Ole Miss,
Gotcha.
and it's really a great time, and it feel like summer school that
I
they're
got
at.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like every kid probably needs to.
yeah.
And I think Vantage in my daughter, I think she's going to go this year, so she needs to go.
She needs to go.
She
It's
needs to
really
go.
good. I
Yeah.
promise.
So being an alpha man,
Mm-hmm.
personally and professionally, how have it grown you? What have it taught you?
Yeah. It taught me to be attentive to little small details.
Hmm.
In life, it could be those little small details that don't get you the job. Like the way you come in and dress. Of course, I dress, but it's, when they say formal, it's
Hmm.
a certain way they expect you to look. I mean, with being an alpha, it has taught me a lot. It has taught me a lot, a lot, a lot. But I know it's the main thing is working with people
Hmm.
and understanding people. You have to have that understanding, And you have to learn that everybody is not the same or don't
Gotcha.
respond to the same way that you might. So it's all about working with people, establishing those connections, and paying attention to small details.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
You talked about singing. For y'all that don't know this guy can sing.
I do something.
Yeah. So your choir school,
Hmm.
you're the vice president,
Yeah.
and how have music, vice president of your college choir, how have music balanced your academics and your personal journey so far?
How have I
Yeah,
balanced
yeah.
it?
How have you
Uh,
balanced that?
oh, we have practiced a lot, and being a part of that choir, it requires a lot of time.
Hmm.
uh, and being the vice president requires even more time. I think right now the balance is always been there because I always have sang. At my choir, at my church, I'm in every choir that we have, from the kids choir to
Yeah.
the praise team to the mass choir to the male choir. So I sing every Sunday. So singing and balancing was never the issue. Actually, I missed one. Like I told you, I was in the choir at school. And I didn't join the choir at school until I was 11th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And when I was there, I didn't join it till late because I was so embarrassed. Like I would post, or little videos would get posted of me when I was smaller on Facebook, and I would be singing. And then the next day I come to school, oh, Jayden, I heard you singing. Or how did you see it? That'd be the
Yeah.
first thing. But I'd be so embarrassed.
Why?
Yeah. Well, you have those students that try to make fun of you,
Mm,
that if you can sing, or, it's just out of the norm. When you're
gotcha.
young, it's all about being fun, and,
Hmm.
and kind of singing is kind of considered serious. And that kind of leads me into, my senior year of high school. I finally competed in the singing competition at the Beta competition in Biloxi. And being there, I was so nervous. That video wouldn't have got posted, or I wouldn't have even placed because I got sick. I was so sick the whole time. I don't know if I was nervous or what, but I couldn't. I actually had bagged out.
Hmm.
I bagged out, and my sponsors and my teachers and my friends that was on the trip with us, they said, "You're not gonna bag out." So I did it, and I placed first, and so it led me to go to nationals. And when I went to nationals, it was in Savannah, Georgia, and
Hmm.
I really had a great time. So I often think about that video. When it comes time for Beta.
Yeah,
Actually, Vanity, she just come back from the
she
Beta,
did. She did.
and and I saw them singing, and they do show choir now. But it's really good to see because I can reflect on what I've done.
Good deal. Good deal. So here's the next question I have for you. What has been the biggest lesson you learned from not finishing number one going into college now?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest lesson I learned is that how to be resilient. When it throws you something, it throws you a curveball. You got to learn how to get in and roll with it.
Hmm.
And I know my goal. My goal was, one day I want to be a doctor. So being number one, after graduating, they're not going to always ask you, well, or they're not going to ask you at all. As a matter of fact, what rank were you in high school?
Hmm.
It's all about what community service that you do, or how was your GPA, or it's all about that. And God, he works mysterious ways as well. When you don't have the degree, or you don't have the GPA that qualifies you,
Hmm.
favor will give you things that
Mm,
no man can take away.
that's it.
So that's a really important thing
That's
for
good.
me, how to be resilient.
I like that. I like that a lot. If you could talk to your younger self right now, what advice would you give? Or not, in fact, not your younger self. What advice would you give someone right now that's in high school chasing that ultimate number one or just chasing the top 10? What advice would you give them right now? Looking back, you wanted it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But now that you're in college, what advice would you give them now looking back? Say, hey,
Well, I got two stories for you. I
okay,
liked your first question, so I need to talk about what I would say to my younger self.
okay.
I remember being really in high school and really focused, And my grandma Vernice, do you know her, Vernice Autry? You know, Cynthia
Yes, I
Autry's.
do. Yeah.
So she passed away a couple of years ago. But you know, my mama and her, they were always talk, and she had told my mom on the phone that, you know, Tina, I feel like I need to tell you this, that Jay's gonna make it. You know, he's so hard
Mm.
on himself. You know, but he's gonna make it. And I remember that so well because I am hard on myself. But for her to say that you're gonna make it, you know, that you don't fight for victory, that you fight from victory, that victory's already been won.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And what I would tell somebody else now is just free yourself. Like get your good grades, you know, do the best you can. But if you don't get it, it's okay. I promise. Like life continues, and it's more than life than just a number. I can assure you, because after you graduate,
Hmm.
if you plan to go to college, you know, it's gonna be a whole like a turnaround. You know, one thing I learned from being in college is, you know, your study habits, or you know, being social. You know, maybe you can be too social, or it's a such thing as being, you know, too less of being social. So you have to have that balance. You have to find what works for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, because what works for me may not work for you.
Gotcha.
So
Finding the balance. I like that. You talk about balance, and I guess this next question can kind of sum a lot of things up. Being involved in so many organizations in high school, how had that developed your relationships, not relationship, your leadership skills, and prepared you for adulthood? Because how old are you now?
I'm 20,
20.
20 years old. Being in high school, you know, it taught me, you know, I'm going back to that balance again. Because it did. I mean, I did a lot in high school, and I can just remember, and I'm so glad that I'm done with high school. You know, just because of those
So
things.
you mean to tell me you don't want to go back to high school?
I don't.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, what was your question
No,
again?
no. How have you shaped your leadership?
My
Into,
leadership.
you know, into adulthood. Like you 20 in age, that's fine, but
Yeah.
you're adult in my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did those organizations help you out?
You know, having those hard conversations, because you know I'm not. It does the joining organizations just didn't stop in high school. You
Mhm.
know, I'm not only in a fraternity. You know, I'm in the gospel choir, but I'm in, you know, other things as well. I'm in the NAACP.
Mhm.
You know, I was once in the Black Student Union. I'm a part of Grove Scholar, but it showed me how to be accountable. You know, when people when they ask you, or be reliable, when they ask you to do something, that you do exactly, you know,
Yeah.
what you say you're going to
Mhm.
do. And having those hard conversations. You know, in high school I had to have like little small, let's get back on track, or the little one-on-ones. And even in college, again, you know, I'm having those conversations, but it taught me that I can also lead from the back and always not always from the front.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I noticed you said lead from the back and not in the front, because when I say this man, you can sing, hit a note for me. Just what's your favorite song? Just what is one of
Mm,
your favorite songs you like to
well,
sing? Just hit one line for me. People need to hear this.
why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home, when Jesus is my portion? A constant friend is he. Always I is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
Wow. Wow. Boy, you can sing. Man, okay. I love to hear you sing, man. And I
Wow.
wanted people to hear that. But let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Um, what's have been a reality check for you, man? Just going into college and the changes you had to make after high school, because I think you said something about your study habits and what what is the big reality check? All right, I went to Houston High School. Now I'm at the University of Mississippi. So
Mhm.
what's been that eye opener for you?
Of course, it's bigger. And then it's more than just going to class, and you don't have your parents to make you or that's checking behind you that you go to class. Like you have to do it yourself. And then another thing, it's just more than studying. You have to do those little small details. Or what am I going to eat tonight? Or I got to have a job. Or if I want to be a part of this organization, like you have to be there. And then if you want to do any leadership roles, you have to
Mhm.
be on your own, with that, and then you have to go find the resources. Like when you first get there and freshmen, they often feel alone. And I kind of did as well because my freshman year, I felt like it was more of a routine. I go to class, go to work, go home. Go to
Mhm.
class, go to work, go home. And it's more than that.
Mhm.
We have like, for example, I have some favorites of mine. We have a Leah Bishop. You have Carrie Time. You have Yasmin McLaurin, Jenny Smith. Those are people that work in the Center of Inclusion. So when we go there, cross cultural inclusion, all that, we go in there and we just sit and talk. And it's like a sitting area. And they actually are the people that are over the most conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we
Okay.
go in there. And so their job is really to make everybody feel seen, no matter the race.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you had someone you can reach out to and have that support and guide. Well, let's ask you this. Who's been your biggest supporter, man? Who has been the person like, Jay, you can do this? Who's been your biggest inspiration, man? Or if you don't want to say, that's fine too. But
Well, it's
who's
not it's not that I don't want to say. It's just like I don't want to leave anybody out.
I got you. I
Yeah,
respect
like
that.
I think my family as a whole has been of course, my grandma. She's always anything that I ask, I call her my second mom, and she always is there. And we'll be up at night, and she has to go to work the next night, the next morning, and she'll be up to 12:30 in the
Really?
morning. And we'll just sit and talk, and it's like, I often think, how do we just sit back and find so much more to talk about? We talk so long one night, then we talk a long time the next night. But I have a great support system, and y'all are a part of my family.
Yeah, we are.
Recently, look at all the support what was showed at the program that I set up, the musical. It was a lot of people, and you were a part of that because you had to introduce the
Yes, I did.
MC,
I
and
did.
it was great. So my family has really been a great support system. And up there, in college, I have a lot of different teachers, a lot of different advisors. So I don't want to single anybody out
I
though.
got you. I
Yeah,
respect that,
yeah,
and I'm glad family. Period. So family's a lot to you.
yeah.
It means a lot
My
to you.
girlfriend, yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of yeah,
yeah. Which I just met the other day.
yeah, yeah. We've
Yes.
been together for 4 years. So
Wow.
yeah. So since
Man.
high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
She been a well kept secret. I admire.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a nice young lady,
Yeah.
and I'm hopefully one day, hey,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna talk about
Oh, okay.
this.
I know where you're going. But she actually come to church today. As a side note, she come to my church today. So
Got you.
yeah,
Okay. Is she's well? That's right. Yeah, because she's
she's a singer,
She's a singer. She's in high
and
school. Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. She's a
Got you.
singer, and she does well. Her
Right.
goal is to get number one as well.
Okay.
And she's I tell her she's smarter than I am,
Yeah.
but she's in the choir. They have the choir in the high school,
Okay.
but their choir is a little different than ours. So high school, we had like more of a choral choir,
Mhm.
but they have like more of a gospel choir kind of feel. And she's a part of it. Actually, they come to Ole Miss during the basketball game when we play LSU.
Yes.
And they sang in the
Yes. I was
yeah,
at that game.
yeah, you were
Yes.
there.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, and we strolled there. You got
Yeah.
to see the environment.
I
So
saw you.
yeah,
I saw you, brother. Oh my goodness. So let me ask you this, man. You know, what success look like to you today now? We winding this thing up. So what do success look like to you? Like you said, back in high school, number one,
Mhm.
you wanted that.
Yeah.
But what do success look like for you now?
I think success is just, recently I've been praying for peace.
Mm,
And I don't want to, get all sentimental, but last week, y'all were praying constantly for me. It
mm,
was the week of praying for me. And also my advisor, the choir advisor, he was talking and he wanted to pray for individual people that was on the every person that was on the board, the leadership board. And last week I was in so much pain. I don't even think I told you that while I was here talking to you that I was in so much pain.
mm.
And actually, I had to go to the hospital, to the emergency room last Saturday. And I said, it almost seems like when you ask for peace, you actually get the opposite of what you asked for because I was in so much pain and I was having to take ibuprofen and just trying to take medicine to just keep pushing. But I pushed so bad that it got infected and it had messed up my walk, and sitting down hurt, walking hurt. Like it was pretty bad. But I was talking to my grandma about kind of getting the opposite. And she said, Jay, you really don't understand what you were kind of asking for. She said, you were asking for a spiritual, peace, because that's what God gave me.
Mhm.
During the program, I really, really enjoyed the program, but I almost felt like a release at the program, because sometimes I always feel like everybody is kind of on my shoulders,
Mm.
and or I have to make sure I'm good right here. Even with singing, everybody has the expectation of, even you thought like, "Ugh, you can really sing," and
Yeah,
I sometimes think I can sing a little bit. I know
got
what
you.
I sound like, you know,
Sound
but
good.
but
Good.
it's an expectation of that boy can sing. Well, I may have an off day, then
Hmm.
what do people think of me now? But I think now, I just want to be at peace, and I want to do, what I want to do, but I want to do it, I want to do it unto God. My friend and I, we were talking as well, and he called me. It was actually about housing. Every year we have to reapply for
Hmm.
housing,
Okay.
and so we were trying to find an apartment, and the website kept crashing, and I was like, man, and I was just getting frustrated, and he called me. And while me and him were talking, one of the things that we were discussing that he had felt like he had done everything at Ole Miss, kind of how I felt it at Houston. He's done a lot. He studied abroad. That's where you can go out of the country.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's done research. He's done a lot. He's done a lot. I probably don't even know all that but me and him, we have the same major, and then I start telling him about me. That how I felt that. I was kind of behind. I'm doing all the extracurricular. Yeah, I'm in the choir. But what am I doing internally in the school? So the other day, I told you I had something to tell you.
Okay.
I was at the Bunt Cake and place. That's where I work. And when I
Mm.
was there, the first person to walk in, um, she come in and she had her scrubs on, almost like she was from the hospital. I didn't want to like assume, but I started talking to her, and I was like, I don't want to ask her where she work at, but I finally did. I said, oh, you must be getting off from work now, and so we started talking, and she did work at the hospital. And one of the, I was telling her, I was like, well, it must be pretty hard to get on at the hospital. I said, I've been trying, and even trying to get a job shadowing opportunity. And I tell you, when me and him had to talk about what I wasn't doing, or how I felt like I wasn't doing anything,
Hmm.
the guy he was working behind the scenes, she said, well, you give me your phone number and you give me your email, you give me your name. And she said, I know a guy. He's an anesthesiologist, actually. And, if you still want to work at the hospital, it's not hard to get on there. So God had my back. It was 9 o'clock in the morning and I didn't even understand. And actually the Sunday school lesson this morning was giving generously, that God is looking for a cheerful giver. And
Yes.
it's not always about finances.
Mm.
It's about giving your time. I have some friends that they just want to talk. Give that, but if it is finances, but he said, whatever you do to the least of them, you do unto me. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving,
Hmm.
whether it's time, money, whatever it is. advice,
Mm-hmm.
but I've learned a lot being at the University of Mississippi. But he's had my back the whole time.
Whole time.
The whole time.
You know, I know we're about to end this a little bit, but I want to talk about my wife. And I was just talking about people, just like probably a couple hours for you guys. People think when we are so big on receiving,
Yeah.
the world is give me, give me, give me, give me, but nobody want to never give back.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do give time, people think when you give something, it's got to be financial. No,
Yeah.
no, sir.
Yeah.
If people learn to just give back and just give your time and have that conversation with people and make them feel like they appreciate it, which they are appreciated. Like
Mm-hmm.
your time right now.
Yeah.
I asked you to come on this show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Because you could have been doing anything
Yeah.
on a Sunday afternoon. Anything.
Yeah.
But you gave me your time. You gave me your story. Because somebody gonna listen to this today and gonna be blessed by it. Some kid in high school gonna realize, you know what, I'm gonna do my best, but if I don't make it, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah. Kind of like you do the best and God do the rest.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And so, to anybody that's listening right now, just always give time, please.
Yeah.
Please give your time, because this world, if anybody know me, I try to be the light.
Mm-hmm.
I try to put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Not just I do like to clown a little bit,
Yeah.
be a comedian, but I'm far from that. But I enjoy being happy, and I
Yeah.
enjoy putting a smile on people's face. And today you have put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
It's a reverse effect
Yeah.
today, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I think you being 20 years old as a young adult, I think God truly have you. They have you right now. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Like, and just your support system, your family. And I love the way you just didn't just say, hey, it's just that one particular person. You just,
Yeah.
you hone on just family, period.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't say that
Yeah.
about family.
Yeah.
They had that one or two people that they can depend on.
Yeah.
But you have a village,
Yeah.
a big village.
Yeah.
And so,
That big one.
I'm going to talk about your granddad because, brother Lawrence,
Yeah.
Henry Lawrence.
Kick that leg.
Kick that leg and get to say, like your grandfather, your dad, and you,
Yeah.
man, y'all guys can sing, man. Yeah, and so that is
Yeah.
truly a blessing within itself, man. And
Yeah.
just keep doing what you're doing. And anything you like to end on this note to anybody out there, just like I said, I wanted to do this because it's my daughter to be a singer this fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
She have goals.
Yeah.
And I want her to realize, and not only my daughter, any kid out there, I want them to realize, hey, whatever goal you set for yourself, it's okay if you don't attain it.
Mm-hmm.
So, any advice you can give them right now before we get out of here?
Well, I have experienced a lot, even in high school. But one final thing that I want to tell you is that the enemy is after you. When God tells you to put on your breastplate and put on the full armor of God and be prepared for when He comes. And I think that in life that you're going to have people, God says that you don't have to go looking for trouble, that it's going to find you, but it's your response that matters. Even in high school, there were certain things, maybe certain staff members that may have said, or, maybe, anything, from the choir, maybe something has happened in the choir, maybe at my church, maybe even those things, but you have to be ready for when the enemy comes. And if you're not, he's going to rule you. I always tell this story. I told it to you last time, but I really wanted to tell it again because we were sitting in Bible class this morning, and I told you that Mr. Joe, that Mr. Joe Mosley, that he had told me and told the class about how he was working in West Point. And it was this big guy, Mr. Joe. He said it again this morning. Okay. He was like 6'5", and he told him, just how musty he is, or just how smelly he was. He had an odor, and he did it in front of everybody. He told them just, how he smelled in front of everybody. And Mr. Joe, it took him 2 weeks to get the smell off, but it wasn't until he apologized that the smell left. So the enemy is after you. He's going to steal. He's going to be after Vanity. He's going to be, because you're talking about she's a rising senior.
Mhm.
It's going to be things that she learned in her senior year, that she had never learned before. And we're always growing. But, having that mindset that I'm going to be ready when he comes. Today I sang a song that is not about me or the things that I've done. I'm living to see Jesus. Um, and so that's what I'm doing. I don't have it all figured out. And yes, I do make mistakes, but it's how you recover from them. And you have to ask God for forgiveness, and He'll forgive you. He's a God of second chances.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Mr. Lawrence, it's been an honor and a privilege to be in your presence.
Yes, sir.
And y'all, this kid is a rising star. And maybe one day, I hope that you never have to go to the hospital, but he'll be the one to put you to sleep. But like I said, it's been an honor and a privilege to be in your presence. And until the next time, y'all, it's the one and only. Just Cat.